forgot the countdown music. It's been straight into going live. Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome in. Another instant reaction. Playoff edition snaps here as Texas just takes down Clemson at home in Austin. Moving on. A game that was at least a semblance of a game. Yeah, we have some on the field things to talk about, some exciting moments and sequences to celebrate. Aaron, you're looking very, very festive right now. You're with all your family. Over one shoulder, I see a Christmas tree. It doesn't say shalom over the other. It does. There you go. I mean, look at it right there, guys.
Yes.
The half Jewish, half Catholic heritage on display. We got shalom and the menorah. We got the Christmas tree right next to it. That, my friends, is the holiday good stuff. As if QB1 doesn't have it all. He gets 8 days of presents and Jesus' birthday. Unreal. Must be nice. Aaron, what's up, dude? How you doing?
I'll tell you this about the game. We talked about this earlier with the other games of just there's a difference in the talent gap between the two teams. There was not a massive difference in talent gap between these two teams. That's why it was as competitive as game as it was, even though Texas is still the better team this year. But at least it was exciting. So we kind of worked from bad to good, and now in about 22 minutes, 30 minutes, hopefully we'll get a great game between Tennessee and Ohio State.
Yeah. It's a step in the correct direction there, Aaron Murray. Aaron, read some of the names off of people in chat while I tweet out the link here again.
Well, I currently cannot see chat because I can see chat. Billy Boy, ACC equals trash. I'm going to tell you, that is something that we talked about on our earlier show. So if you missed our earlier show, go back and watch it if you want our thoughts on the first game of the day, Penn State SMU. But I brought up the fact of we're getting to this mode right now where it's almost like the NFL, AFC versus NFC. Well, now the ACC's out. The Big 12's next. Arizona State will host now Texas next week in Atlanta. So most likely the Big 12's out. So it's going to turn into a Big 10, SEC, and then Notre Dame kind of feel. And that's goes exactly to what I talked about earlier. Follow the trends. Where is everything heading? It's heading to the SEC. It's heading to the Big 10, the money, the TV contracts, the players, all of it. It's just the way the game's going.
I don't know if I have it in me to have another referendum on the state of college football as a whole right now. I want to talk about the game first and then maybe bring it into some of that. I mean, look, I would say this, Aaron, on a weekend in which I've been very wrong about many things, or very wrong about Indiana, at least. Our read on this game was exactly right. Clemson's rush defense was their biggest Achilles heel coming into the matchup.
Or am I frozen? Someone in the chat, let me know.
I'm not frozen on my side. Are you frozen on your? I think you're fine. You're not frozen on my side. I wouldn't worry about it.
All right.
But no, I think, look, we said Clemson's rush defense was the Achilles heel coming to the matchup. And, well, yeah, I mean, it was the absolute difference in the game throughout the game. Even at the end, when Clemson goes down by 7, looking to make it a game, what do they immediately do? Give up another 70-plus yard rush touchdown. So they couldn't stop the run. And the only way to beat Texas right now is to stop the run, force Ewers to make plays, make him uncomfortable. And it was just far, far, far too comfortable for Ewers all night long with the rush support he got.
I know we went over the stats during the week in preparation for this game of, Clemson being 14th in their own conference when it comes to rush defense. And you're like, God, 14th in the ACC at rush defense, or 12th, somewhere there. It's towards the bottom end of it.
Yeah.
And to see it again tonight against a Texas team, which we last saw struggle to run the ball versus Georgia, which, I mean, it's not like Georgia's been world beaters against the run this season at all. And they struggle.
But they have against Texas twice.
They have been versus Texas. But I'm saying, like, overall, though, they've struggled against the run this season, mostly due to mobile quarterbacks. But for Clemson to be as what you and I have played against or seen and have gotten used to seeing under Dabo Swinney, how great they are up front. All the top-tier talent, defensive tackle, defensive end, linebacker, guys playing the NFL, to see how bad they've been this season and to kind of put the cherry on top to give up what ended up 300 yards rushing in this game.
That's what I was just Googling the box score here. It looks like it finished 292 to
Eh,
6.9 yards per carry for Texas. Clemson was giving up over 5 on the season. Who ended up with the numbers here? Wisner ends up going 15 carries for 110, 2 tuds, and Jaden Blue goes 14 carries, 146 and 2 tuds. So Blue averages 10 yards a carry, Wisner 7. I mean, and it speaks to kind of something that they started to touch on at the end of the game, which is everything that Sark has done has been focused on the line, on the offensive lines and the defensive lines, and trying to invest monetarily, recruiting wise, whatever you got to say, resources, put as many resources as possible into getting the biggest and best prospects on both sides of the line. And now this is 2 years in a row in which it has paid dividends. Last year is more on the defensive line that got them all the way to the college football semifinal. And this year it's arguably more on that offensive line, which has led them to so much success. Now, Georgia did get them twice, but outside of that, this is no line that
Are
all
are
year.
are you concerned with the success of Clemson? Because I've harped on it all season long. I think Klubnik has been leaps and bounds better than he was last year, or even in sparing times the year before. Like, I am just shocked. And you look at the stats; he's now has, I think, ended the season with 42, 43 total touchdowns between passing and running. He looked really good again. The young receivers for Clemson looked really good. So if you're a Clemson fan, know that you got Klubnik, you have these receivers. Dabo is going to start dabbling in the transfer portal as well. Maybe bolster up that entire football team, hopefully over the next month or so. But to see the success that they had in Austin throwing the football against what you and I believe, or at least I believe, is maybe the best defense in the playoffs right now, is that concerning at all for you?
No, because like you said, it is a very good offense. Klubnik, I mean, damn, I don't know. For a second there, I thought he was tapping into whatever he used in some of that old high school big dog energy. Like, okay, I'm just going to go out here and do what I've done to Quinn. Like, I guess I'm more saying that I credit Clemson rather than knock Texas, because I know how good Texas defense is. And when they had to make the plays tonight, they made the plays consistently. They forced turnovers and created a lot of negative plays. I mean, the sacks killed multiple drives early on. And really, okay, look, so there's 2 sequences that I think define this game. And the one in the second half is Clemson going down 7. Then Texas coming back with that 70-yard touchdown, immediate great response. But then Klubnik gets all the way down to the goal line, but the defense stands firm in a couple of just, old school football, who's bigger, who's badder. Let's just fucking go head to head and see who scores. Texas holds, and then they end the game really with a beautiful 4-minute offense. I mean, you could have called it. You could have called it first down. Maybe there, it didn't matter. They salted away that game. They knew they were going to. So no. Texas defense came up with the stop when they needed it, and then they also came up with a lot of great stops throughout the game as well. So no.
Well, I'm
who are the good offenses left? Oregon. That's it, right? I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Maybe Will Howard and
Ohio State. I mean, I'm just saying, from a Texas fan's perspective, what cost them an opportunity last year was the pass defense. Washington went up and down the field on them. That's what kept them out of national championship. And they got better in the offseason and got some guys. And it's not the same defense, especially in the back end, as it was a year ago. Maybe not as talented up front, but overall, I would say a better defense. So I would not be too concerned if I'm a Texas fan. Maybe a little bit, not crazy.
I think Klubnik I think Klubnik was in a play from behind situation. Got to throw it a lot. Got to make plays, and he's had a very good year.
But Oregon's offense and Ohio State's offenses are better than that offense.
I guess. And
you're not going to be at home, and you're not going to be at home either.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know. I'm still not concerned. I think you could see. I think that it's fair to say maybe the defense got a little lax in the second half. You kind of dominating the game the entire time. You lose focus a little bit. They start to climb back in it, but then you made the stop when you had to. Not to say that they'll shut down those offenses necessarily, although it does feel like, when we did our preview show on Tuesday, we talked about how some of the common denominators of these teams that were in this thing were defense and running the ball. And through 3 games now, defense and running the ball has been the deciding factor in every single game.
Yeah. And home field advantage. I mean, that's 3 home
Yeah,
games.
that's what we said. We said,
I
sorry,
think,
we said defense and home field advantage, actually, not run the ball. I'm an idiot.
yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
defense and home field advantage has been huge so far.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was CK that said in the chat of just how big of an advantage is that. I mean, I think it for fans to be now getting a taste of what playoff football looks like and them showing up in a big way. Besides obviously Ohio State, Tennessee, from everything that we're seeing right now, it looks like Tennessee is going to have about 30% of that stadium is going to be orange, which is
Is that the
wild.
latest? Is that the latest
That's the latest
projections?
from Ross Dellinger's Twitter account. That
Oh,
30% of the stadium looks to be in that beautiful orange color. But other than that, like these environments have been just tremendous. I mean, Notre Dame, South Bend, Indiana whiteout, and then in Austin, Texas. I mean, you're talking about 2 of those stadiums that are north of 100,000 people for the first ever playoff games in a 12-team playoff. So I think it was a huge advantage for those teams to be at home.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, without a doubt. And it goes back to what we said. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on this. This season, to me, has felt like a season with a ton of where home field advantage has mattered more so than even always. And it always does matter a ton, but I don't know. It just feels like most big games, the home fields come out on top.
Is it because of the parity in college football where any little thing could swing it one way or the other? And so many teams are so close that
I don't
you
know
kind
if
of lean towards home?
I mean, I don't know. I'm not even sure that it's actually statistically correct, my feeling, right? Like maybe home teams didn't win at a higher clip this year than they normally did. And I just think it felt that way. So I don't know if I'd like try to explain it too much. Red Fang 74, $5 super chat. Aaron, what's your take on why offensive coordinators refuse to tush push when down on the 1? Amazes me how Clemson doesn't score from the 1 yard line.
I saw a tush push in my bowl game on Thursday. So
I mean, Texas tried to tush push it at the end with Arch, and they just fumbled the fuck out of the snap.
No, I don't think there's anyone hesitant. I think people are depending on the offense. I think the biggest issue is a lot of these guys have never taken significant snaps under center. So you don't want to put them in a situation in a crunch time spot to take a snap under center. You're just going to put them in the gun. It's weird, but it is what it is.
I still don't understand that. Like, you don't. I mean, you're still taking snaps under center during CQ exchange, but I guess because they just don't practice enough, they think they can't do it.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I know.
But yeah, no, I mean, look, if you wanna hand it to the running back, you can get some momentum going downhill, but you best get some movement up front.
Yeah,
and that big old white boy from Texas done stonewalled his guy and then shut that hole down. I should know his name. That's on me. But that was a fantastic play to end that football game. I was wondering if Quinn was maybe freaking out a little bit when he was watching Cade start to do what he was doing. If he was like, "Oh my God, is this going to happen again?" Yeah, like he was gonna his championship. It was all coming back in. But
well, once again, listen. Well, the running game helped. I mean, he was an asset.
Well, so that's what I'm saying. It's Quinn is still actually the worry for me with Texas because he had. No, I'm not saying he's bad. But it's just that I don't know. Maybe he actually doesn't have to do much. Maybe their best avenue to winning is not him having to win the game.
I mean, once again, like you can blame him for not having success when they can't run the football, but then you also have to blame the running game too. Like how many offenses can be one-dimensional in this year's game? You know, take away Tennessee's running game.
Do you think there's a quarterback in this bunch that can be one-dimensional and win? Because like some championship quarterbacks absolutely can.
No, I agree. Like I don't know if I can. I mean, we've been over this. I mean, we put out the list of top 12 quarterbacks, like ranking the 12 quarterbacks in the college football playoff, and there was not a lot of superstars. Like name a quarterback that right now you could feel like can put his team on his back and win a championship. Name one in this playoff. There isn't.
I mean, it would have to be Gabriel.
Dylan.
It would have to be Gabriel. That'd be the only answer. He's literally the most experienced quarterback in NCAA history at this point.
I mean, I think you could maybe put, because we've seen it and he's had to do it at times. Ohio State's quarterback.
Will Howard.
Ohio
State's quarterback.
Will Howard on a wide drop like there. But I mean, he's had to this year with the lack of run game have to had success kind of as like the passing game had to get it
Yeah,
done. Like there
I mean,
wasn't
that's
balance.
true. That's
There was
true.
moments of it wasn't very balanced. And I think he's gonna have to be a rock star in order for them to win. So there's not that guy this year in college football. So I don't think you can just put it all on Quinn. Like the entire offense for Texas, I don't think they have to run for 300 yards. I think he can handle, half that load, but they can't run it like they did versus Georgia and think that he's going to throw for 300 and not turn the ball over.
It is wild though. It's real easy to just glaze over how quickly Texas has gotten here. But I mean, after a decade and some change of just being like lost and soft and bad with toxic leadership, I'll be damned if it didn't get really consistently good again really fast. Because here you go, second year in a row where Texas feels like they're a legitimate national title contender. And again, that is one thing about this first round. And now the three winners, I think all three of them are like pretty even with Oregon in terms of my favorite. Like maybe a slight edge for Oregon, but does not feel like a dominant gap between Oregon and any of those other teams. I'd probably score it Oregon, Texas,
Ohio State.
What?
Ohio State.
Georgia? I think Ohio State. And then I think Penn State. Or sorry. No. I was going to go Oregon, Texas, Notre Dame. Then we'll see. I don't want to judge Ohio State and Tennessee yet. We'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
But I was saying Georgia, Texas, Notre Dame, Penn State. Or not Georgia, whatever. God.
Oh, my God.
Oregon. My brain's not working either.
With you?
You know what I'm saying?
Well, guess what? Texas has Arizona State next. So kind of what we talked about with Penn State being and will be a heavy favorite versus Boise State. Texas should feel pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, the seeding, the auto buys were a problem. Because it had a dual knock-on effect where it forced some of the top ranked teams down and put some of the bottom ranked teams up. And so it had created imbalances on both sides. Yeah. We had a top team playing a team that got in at large with a lower seed where these first games would have been much more interesting as like Arizona State versus SMU and Boise versus Indiana or whatever. So yeah, I mean, once again, it's hard with the benefit of hindsight to say that.
Yeah, but good for Texas.
That the auto buys pretty good.
You get 10 days into the next game. We'll see if Banks what his health is going to look like. But
he looked great tonight. I think he's the center. Yeah. Well, I want to know what the center and what's going on with Wisner. Are they good? I mean, I know they came back and played
10 days to get everyone healthy.
Yeah, I think health should be pretty good. I mean, 10 days is a long time. CK Tavern, T-Bob admit that Indiana kind of sucked it. Yeah. You got to listen to the reaction shows that we've been doing the last couple of nights. I would still love it if Scatterboo could shock the world, but
it'd be awesome. I'm not gonna lie.
If Jordan Tyson was in that game, you'd give him more of a shot, but still, it's gonna look like a real talent gap on that field. To be fair.
It's gonna look like the games that we saw this weekend, where the physicality and where football is still won in the trenches is gonna show its face. Texas is really good in the trenches. I'm not saying Arizona State's not, and Scatterboo is not a hell of a physical running back, but it is. It's too massive in that type of game.
So Austin in the chat is our resident Sun Devil fan. He says, "I know I'm biased. What if ASU wins, brother? If ASU wins, I will be so happy because again, I am someone who does believe in the whole can be greater than the sum of its parts. I believed that these teams that navigated their regular season so nicely deserved and were good enough to be here. And it all kind of blew up in my face. So Arizona State winning or Boise winning would at least be some sort of win for those camps. I just don't see either one happening.
If both of them could just be competitive, like that's all we need to at least to calm the conversation. But like if Texas blows out Arizona State and Penn State blows out Boise State, I don't know what the conversation from the powers that be are going to be in that room.
I'm telling you, I think because next year it's going to be the same system. I don't know if you can if you could change buys if you wanted to, but I'm telling you, it's just going to be the weight put on strength of schedule will be massive next year compared to what it
it's
was
going to have
this
to
year.
be. If those two teams get blown out,
And I don't love that. I don't love that. I do like that it would incentivize you in theory to schedule harder. Although it's too late in the game to do that for next season. But I think that will be the result of this for next year's playoff.
Josh in the chat wants to know. I just got to know, Aaron, was it reverse psychology to pick Ohio State over the Dogs for your natty prediction? One, I am 0-4 when I do go against Georgia. And two, I had to pick my championship not really knowing what Gunner's going to look like. And it from seeing Kirby, I think it was either halftime or at some point yesterday, maybe it was during the college game day, he was on and they asked him about Carson. It did not seem very positive that Carson would be back at all. He didn't say it, but he's like, yeah, Carson's with his people in Jacksonville and, doing his
he's not coming
thing.
back. He has a UCL injury.
Yeah, I was like, so I mean, until I can see what Gunner looks like, you still need a guy back there.
Georgia fans just have to trust in Kirby and hope for the best. I don't think it is likely that Gunner comes in and dominates, but there is a reality out there where maybe it happens. So, just hope and pray that you live in that reality. Why is everyone so high on Ohio State? Because they have a very good defense. They have very good playmakers, and they have a quarterback in Will Howard who has played really good all save for the Michigan.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of the elements that could have them go on a championship run as well.
At their best, who's better though, Ohio State, Texas, or Oregon?
At their best, who's better, Ohio State, Texas, or Oregon? Still Oregon because Dylan Gabriel.
Okay.
I think Oregon has the best combination of quarterback and weapons. It might be a little less on the defense, but they're still very good defensively.
I think really good, but I think there's a decent gap between them and Texas and Ohio State defensively. Like I would put Texas to Ohio State.
But isn't there also, well, maybe not with Ohio State's weapons, but like I feel like Oregon by far has the best weapons. No,
I would put them with Ohio State.
But then they have a much better quarterback. Or do you not think Dylan Gabriel is much better than Will Howard?
I mean, if you go back to that first game, they were the same.
Yeah,
and that's fair. Howard might have outplayed them. So,
but then also doesn't that take away from your Ohio State defense argument if you go back to that first game?
Yeah.
So I mean, we are kind of splitting hairs here, obviously.
I agree,
but I think it has to be Oregon as a favorite because they have the quarterback. I mean, fascinating to see what happens in this game. Again, I think this is low score, and I think this is close, and I think Will Howard playing better than Yamaliov is the difference, but that will remain to be seen.
All right. Let's get ready for Tennessee, Ohio State.
All right, guys. Hey, please hit the like button. Share with your friends. Snaps College Football Podcast. If you love college football, well, you'll love this show. So go ahead and sub, like, share, all those good things. Please, the other algorithmic gods that rule our existence. And we'll be back with another reaction show after Tennessee, Ohio State. You have a great night.
See ya. You have to end the live, right?
Oh, I clicked in, and then but you gotta click it again, huh? Shut the fuck up. Shalom.